Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Mewtwo Fan Nate, and this is going to be my team builder for week number 3, season 2 of the P4G. I am your coach of the New York Noibats. My opponent is Sleeping Knight 77 of the Montreal Toucannadiens. So hopefully I said that right. If not, I do apologize. And Kyle is a good dude. Definitely go check out his channel. It will be in the description below, the link. So if you guys are not familiar with the team that I have drafted, I will pop them up on the screen about right now. So you guys can see I have Crobat, Raikou, Typhlosion, Hydreigon, Mesprit, Blastoise, Mega Scizor, Tapu Bulu, Hariyama, Piloswine, and Licky Licky. My opponent has a very interesting team with Rapidash, Gourgeist, Kyurem, Arcanine, Meloetta, Tapu Fini, Xurkitree, Necrozma, Alolan Muck, Mega Steelix, and Aromatisse. So if you guys aren't familiar with how I like to do my team builders, I like to first talk about what I think about my team matchup versus him, and then I like to go into his team matchup versus me. But since his team is kind of interesting, I'm going to start off with that first. So I think he has a better team matchup against me, just because a lot of the mons that he has can, like, he has a way of taking out every single one of my mons. Like, that's just a fact, and I think that'll probably be a fact in every single draft. But it's just like, even I would say in normal like competitive non-draft format, like, he has mons that would beat my mons, like, and there's not really text to get around it. Like, for example, he has a Alolan Muck, and Alolan Muck is like notorious for taking out Tapu Bulus. He has an Arcanine, which is also notorious for taking out Tapu Bulus, and it's also something that you don't want to, like, it's something that you would switch your Mega Scizor, like, in, you know what I'm saying? I might have said that backwards. Basically, it checks Mega Scizor very well via Arcanine, so that's something that I am kind of scared of. The Rapidash, on the other hand, it is pretty decent offensively, but it's very frail, meaning it cannot switch into a Bulu Woodhammer. Like, not at all, unless it's like maybe physically defensive, but then he can't be like running any speed on it, and then that means it gets outsped by like a lot of my mons, like Raikou, and then probably like Hydreigon and Crobat. So that's one of those things where he's just not gonna bring like defensively, and if he does, he's a meme lord. And I mean, I don't really know about how he plays, because the only 2 games that I've really seen from him is when he set up with a Linoon and like 6-0'd someone, and then when he battled John and hit him up with that Xurkitree. So, you know, we'll have to see how this game plays out. Another mon that's really threatening is his Kyurem, because Kyurem kind of poops on this team. Like, nothing really wants to take a Ice Beam other than Mega Scizor, and if he's running Hidden Power Fire, we're going to be in a bit of trouble. And I actually have a specific EV spread with that thought in mind, so I'm not too worried about it, but definitely something to look out for. As far as like his other team members, like, I'm not really too worried about Meloetta, because every single like mom on this team has like U-turn, so it's gonna get worn down with like Stealth Rocks and taking U-turns and things like that. And a lot of his other mons are really only scary if they get set up. Like, for example, like if he has like Necrozma set up, if he has like Muck with some curses up, if he has like Xurkitree with like the Z Rain Dance or like Tail Glows up, then I'm gonna be pooping myself a little bit. But other than that, I think we'd be okay. But his team matchup is kind of scary for me. Now, as far as my team matchup against him, the way I'm going to win is by momentum, like in preventing him from setting up by forcing switches and forcing things to take rocks damage. So his team is pretty weak to rocks, and what I mean by that is not that he has like a ton of things that are weak to rocks, because I mean, he does have some things like Mega Steelix that don't really mind it, but I mean, other than that, everything is kind of taking either neutral damage or super effective. So I mean, it's not like his team is like overwhelmingly weak to rocks, but he does have quite a significant amount of things that do take good damage from rocks, and he only has 1 hazard remover. So Tapu Fini is going to be extremely pressured this game to keep rocks off his side of the field, and kind of because it's going to be something that's going to want to try to check Hydreigon, otherwise Hydreigon might just run Chop on him. And being the fact that I have a Crobat with like Cross Poison, I have the Raikou with Thunderbolt, Scarf Bulu, and I have, spoiler alert, Charge Beam Hydreigon, so definitely something that's going to come into play there. He does have the one Stealth Rocker with Mega Steelix, so that's like the one thing that I'm going to have to worry about, but I do have Defog on my Crobat, so that's something that I can use to help keep my Mons healthy, because I definitely don't want to be taking any chip damage, especially when things are very crucial, especially with Mega Scissor and like Hidden Power Fires. Like, I've needed to roll, like, I don't want it taking any other hits, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So if rocks are on his side of the field, we will be looking very pretty. Now, with all that being said, with team matchup and everything, this now I will get into where I will explain my sets and everything like that. So, the first mon that I have is my Tapu Bulu. It is Choice Scarf. I only really need 3 moves on there to put in the work. I have Wood Hammer, Horn Leech, Stone Edge, and I threw Toxic on there as a filler move. Probably will not click it, but you don't know if it'll come into play or not. Wood Hammer, honestly, just like it either 1 hit KOs or like 2 hit KOs, like everything on his team. Like, it's just a beast. Like, there's no doubt about that. The one thing that like kind of stops it is like a physically defensive Mega Steelix because of how bulky that thing is. But we'll have to work around it, and the fact that we have U-turn on like every single mon, like there's a good chance that we'll get some chip damage on it. We'll force it to come in, take a little bit of rocks damage, and then like maybe we'll predict it and hit it with like an Earth Power with our Hydreigon. We don't know exactly how the match will go down, but we have certain options. So other than that, Tapu Bulu is looking really nice. We have Horn Leech to depending on what point it is in the game. Like, if it's really late game and all of his mons are super weak, I can just click Horn Leech, keep myself alive, and still get the kills. The speed on this is just enough to outspeed a... what was it? Oh, it was a Rapidash. It was a max speed Rapidash. So with the Choice Scarf, I outspeed a Rapidash, and Wood Hammer OHKOs it. So I can, if it's, as long as it's Rapidash, if he brings it, it's not, as long as it's not scarfed or anything like that, and as long as I'm not like paralyzed, I can always bring this in like after whether I sack something off or I get a slow U-turn off into it, like where I've taken damage and then I don't have to worry about it, and just bring in Bulu, Wood Hammer, kills it. The Stone Edge is nice because I have all I have to do is get Kyurem to take Stealth Rocks one time, and Stone Edge will kill because it does like between like 70 something % and like 80 min. So usually, if I get the roll, Bulu will most likely get the kill on the Kyurem. So that's always nice. Now the next mon that we have is the Crobat, and this is just bulky bat, just enough speed with a jolly nature to outspeed his Rapidash, and then I can always U-turn and I can hit the Tapu Fini with the Cross Poison. I have Roost just to keep myself healthy, defogging those rocks away. The defense investment on here does let me take a Wild Charge from the Rapidash. I can actually take 2 of them. It doesn't do 50%. So if he's like Electrium Z Wild Charge, then I'm gonna probably die. But it's all good. It's all good. And I guess I can always Roost. Like, if I'm not at full health, I can Roost and get rid of my flying typing, and then Wild Charge will be doing significantly less because it won't be super effective. So there's that. This right here is just a bulky pivot. Just, I could put Super Fang on here just to guarantee that I always get like 50% on something, just to really wear down his team. But I think I need all these other moves, and U-turn is really important. And Cross Poison, like, it definitely helps me scare out his Tapu Fini, which is something that is crucial this game, because Tapu Fini is excuse me, because Tapu Fini is extremely bulky, and I need to force this thing out and pressure it to take more rocks damage. So the next mon that I have is my Yellow Sacred, the Raikou. It has Volt Switch, Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, and Calm Mind, so we are running a setup Calm Mind variant. So I really like this Raikou. It, like I said, it puts in a lot of work. It forces out that Tapu Fini. And after a Calm Mind boost, we could take a Specs Draco Meteor from the Kyurem, so that's always nice. And after, obviously, it gets like the -2, plus like I'll have like 1+1 special defense boost. I could always Volt Switch out on that because there's a really good chance that he's gonna switch out to regain his attack stat the way it was before. So I do have Modest Nature. After a Calm Mind boost, we can basically put a lot of damage on his team. It's really just good for pivoting and whatnot. Like I said, this whole team is really just about pivoting momentum, forcing switches, making things take more rocks damage, just in order for Tapu Bulu to come in late game. Just click either Horn Leech or Wood Hammer a couple times and clean up. Now, the next mon that we have here is actually pretty cool. And just one thing I want to point out before, between Yellow Sacred and Mesprit, depending on what he has will probably determine my lead. If he has Mega Steelix, I will probably lead Mesprit. If he doesn't, I'm probably going to lead Raikou, because free Volt Switch on anything is terrific. It also, like, for example, if he does lead Kyurem, it'll let me know if he's Scarfed or not, and I can play around that. And the next thing that I want to talk about is the Mesprit right here. So this speed tier is kind of weird because basically last night I was doing a whole bunch of different mock battles, and good friend of mine, Kelly, aka Under the Radar, we were doing we were up to like past 3 o'clock in the morning prepping for both of our games. And when he was doing mock battles, he ran a Necrozma that had Rock Polish. So this is right here is basically just in case he wants to bring a Rock Polish Necrozma with enough speed to outspeed a timid, jolly Hydreigon. So that's why I have that speed tier. I really don't need that much speed, to be honest, because there's everything below me. Either I'm gonna just U-turn on, or just like click Stealth Rocks, or just go for big damage. Like I have like Shadow Ball to do damage to Necrozma. I have Thunderbolt to do damage to Tapu Fini. Shadow Ball is just really for like things like Gourgeist, things like that. You just get some special defense drops, and then you're in there. You're in there. But this is really just my Stealth Rock setter. Because like I said, rocks are going to be huge this game, and then we have U-turn for momentum. So just enough speed, max special attack, and then I have like the 60 in HP, because we don't want to waste any EVs, and we want to keep our HP at an odd number. So that's why I have the EVs like that. Now, just to give you guys some information, I really was considering an Imprisoned Mesprit for a very long time with like the Psychium Z, because and I was gonna run it like super bulky, like max HP. I think like maybe like was it like 84 or something like that in defense, 100 something defense, like it was somewhere around there. And it was going to take knockoffs from the Alolan Muck, which would have been so cool to see, because one, I would have had like no item that could have been knocked off, and then because I would be running knockoff as well, he wouldn't be able to go for knockoff, so he wouldn't really be able to hit me for super effective damage. But the one problem with that is I didn't have any coverage moves to hit the Alolan Muck and really scare it out or anything like that. So this is kind of just what I decided on, and I think it's a good idea. I like this a little bit better because I do have some speed. I can get some nice U-turns. And Mesprit with its like natural bulk is going to be really nice. So now for the family-friendly Hydreigon, I think this might be my win con, or at least it's going to be one of the best wall breakers that that I've ever come up with. And what I mean by I come up with, I meant Kelly, because Kelly is a genius and he came up with this set to help me out, and I really do appreciate all the help that he did for me last night. So basically, what this set is going to do is just, it has enough speed to outspeed a, that's supposed to be 4 in there, I don't know why Showdown does that. It has enough speed to outspeed the Kyurem Black and the Arcanine if they're like timid max speed or jolly max speed. Just max special attack because we want to hit as hard as possible, and then we have like the remaining EVs just to keep our HP at an odd number. Then we put the 4 in both defenses to even those out. Then we have Earth Power coverage for the Arcanine, the Circuitry. We have the Dark Pulse for like things like Meloetta, the Necrozma, and then the Charge Beam here is what's really awesome about this set, because, for example, what's the one thing that switches in on this thing on his team? There's really nothing that wants to switch in other than Tapu Fini. So with that being said, I go for Charge Beam. Charge Beam has, I believe, a 70% chance, it's a 70% chance to give my special attack a boost by 1. If he's already come in on rocks, and I go for the Electrium Z Charge Beam, it knocks it out. If I don't have Stealth Rocks up on this point in time, I will click U-turn, get a little bit of chip damage off, and then the next time I come in, when, you know, because he's not gonna, I don't think he's gonna predict the Electrium Z. I don't know if you can really predict that. He's gonna run Charge Beam, the Z move. Like, I don't think that's something he's gonna call. So the fact that Charge Beam is not gonna do much initially, but then I'm going to get the boost after that. That means the Z move, Electrium Z at +1, does knock it out after that. If I have rocks up, then I'll just go for it. Then I'm not gonna have to worry about it. But, you know, that's kind of the set. I mean, we have U-turn for the momentum and the initiative again. This really helps me get in the mons that I need to get in, and force switches, force him to take more rocks damage, all just for Bulu to come in clean late game. Now, the next mon that we have is the Red Robin, the Mega Scissor. So, again, this is just a really bulky pivot. Careful nature, 156 in special defense. With max HP, that special defense investment allows me to take a Ice Beam plus Hidden Power Fire from a non-life orb Kyurem. So that right there helps out in the sense where, let's say I switch into an Ice Beam, he clicks Hidden Power Fire, then I click Bullet Punch, that does 50%. Now, my Bullet Punch is going to go first, so I can kill him before he can get off another Hidden Power Fire to kill me. And I knock him out, and I still live. And then I can, depending on whatever he has left, like if he has like something like Muck left, then he'll probably just kill me with like a Shadow Sneak or something like that. But if he has like Mecha Steelix, then I can roost up on that. And eventually, because that thing does not have reliable recovery, I will then win that war. So that is going to be the team for this week, guys. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys go hit that like button. If you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more. I will see you guys tomorrow for the battle, and have yourselves a nice day. Bye.